Welcome back to the Building Your Life podcast. My name is Doug Sandler, along with the host of the show. I don't know why he always lets me lead in. It's time to take the training wheels off, Sean. You have to lead in sometime. Maybe next series of episodes we create, you're going to be the one leading the conversation at the beginning. Nobody wants to hear me. They only want to hear you, John. Welcome back, man.
Oh, well, good to be back with you again.
And how is the weather in the? I can see only the sun shining through that window behind you now. I'm not sure if it's a green screen, just like we talked about last episode. That plan has not moved, so I'm thinking it's not real.
Yeah, it's definitely not real. No, but I do have a window over here, and it has been raining for the past 3 days
Wow.
in the Sunshine State here in Florida. So.
Yeah, well, you got some good humidity going on as well. So it's only a matter of time before, let's see, sun and then rain and then humidity all equates to mosquitoes. When's the mosquito season? It's about to happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. About and anytime really July through October is
Yeah, it's going to be buzzing time. Do you have one of those back porches that has the boxed in screen around the pool? You have that?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, there with all this rain and wind, one of the screen panels peeled off, so we got to get that fixed. But
it's time to watch out because I hear those gators can climb now.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. There was a gator that actually at 3 a.m. in the morning broke into this poor lady's house. And at 3 a.m., it's like, what is thrashing around? There must be a robber or whatever.
Gosh.
So she comes running out and comes face to face with this. I think he was like a big one, like 10 foot long, like a big old gator.
Wow.
You normally don't come in people's houses, but for some reason this one did. So that.
Well, good. Well, let's keep you safe from gators. Let's talk about the stuff that you actually know a ton about, which is all of the different acronyms that are as I was looking through the financial world, more acronyms in the financial world than probably any other than the government. There is
other than the government, yeah.
And we're not here to talk about the FBI or the CIA or the KGB or any of that, but we do want to talk about a CSA designation. So I want to talk about what is a CSA and why is it different than all of the other 3-letter abbreviations in your world and why it might even matter. So can we start with defining what a CSA is?
Sure. I get asked this all the time because, well, wait a second, there's all these other 3-letter acronyms that we've seen, but we've never seen the CSA. And the CSA is a certified senior advisor.
Okay.
So those of us who are members of the NRA, may be familiar with a CSA, but those younger may not be. And CSAs do a lot of different things. The reason I originally got it, I've had it for a decade or so, but we ran a home helpers, 2 home helpers agencies out of Chicago that took care of seniors in their home that didn't want to go to a nursing home or assisted living. So that it became really interesting to me to learn more about not just their financial situation and how to arrange their finances, but what are they really going through as they age? And now I'm starting to experience some of those things myself, just at the very, very beginning of it. And I was like, wow, this is a real thing, right? And I think the younger generation, there's just no way they're ever going to get it. Right?
Well, the things that are important to someone that is at the golden age of their, at their twilight, someone that is now saved their entire life or hasn't saved their entire life. They're dealing with a whole different set of complexities and complex issues. None that are any more familiar to them than things like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, if that's something that they have to experience in their life, or long-term care insurance and all of the other things. So how does a CSA advise a senior and their families? Because I'm assuming that it's not just the senior that you're dealing with. Oftentimes it's the families and the other people in their lives as well. Is that right?
You hit the nail right on the head. Because the kids, they see mom and dad are maybe not as sharp, not as energetic, and their instinct tends to be, not always, it tends to be, I want to jump in and quote unquote help. On the senior side of things, the last thing that they want, generally speaking, is help from their kids and their kids telling them what to do. And then we end up with the two just butting heads in a horrible way. And I'm sure as we speak, there are people on the other side of this podcast going, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been through that. But a lot of you haven't yet. So, and the other thing that the CSA does is it goes beyond the financial aspect and it goes to what's going on up here
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
brain. It's do you really understand what dementia is? Do you really understand what Alzheimer's is? And do you understand that just because we can't remember where we put the keys doesn't mean we have dementia and can't handle our affairs? We may start to, I'm saying we because I'm getting, I'm in my 50s and I know it's coming, but sometimes I can't remember where I put my keys and I'm 54. So
I think the definition of things like dementia and Alzheimer's is it's not where did I leave my keys, it's what are my keys used for. That's I think that is how I've heard it defined before. And I'm with you. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle. I'm dealing in that scenario right now. My mom is basically almost 90 years old. Her birthday is in July of 2023. She'll be 90. I handle all of her admin. I handle all of her finances. I make sure that, when I say I handle her admin, everything's on auto pay for my mom and everything's on auto receive. But there are a lot of those things, we take for granted that when we, God forbid, get a cut or anything seriously, on our hand or our arm or our leg, that a week later that scab's going to form and it's going to go away. Now, my mom's been dealing with an literally an open wound for the last 3 months.
yeah,
And these are things that we as 50 somethings and our kids who are 20 somethings, and if there's anybody listening to this that is in their 20 somethings, it's not even on your radar right now because your parents are all in, probably for the most part, in ultra good health. The challenge is that it is the complexities of the, not just the financial side of things, but the emotional side of things. You probably see that like a bartender, handles psychology when a guy's sitting at the bar, with his head down and his head in his drink. It's the reality of the financial side meeting the emotional side in your business. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off long-winded to that. I just think that's the reality of what we deal with.
yeah, that's absolutely the case. And being able to recognize and help the seniors who want to remain independent and can, and also knowing when they are starting to slip and knowing who the kids are and who to contact and how to help in that way at the same time. But I have some wonderful elderly people that I deal with. Most of them, not all of them, most of them are widows. One of them's a widower.
Mm-hmm.
um, they're sharp, but one of them got scammed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. My mom's calling me all the time with, do I need to respond to this? Because people are acting like they're from Medicare or they're acting from
sure.
Social Security, or they're calling and saying, hey, you just placed an order on Amazon. If you don't give me your credit card so I can cancel this right now to confirm all the things. I mean, it's the market that gets preyed on the most. And they feel really dumb, unfortunately, when they fall for it. And I'm like, Mom, they're targeting you. And they're smart.
And they're very good at it. And by the way, I know people younger than me and my age, and frankly myself, that have been. I have to look really hard
Yes.
sometimes,
Yes.
and you didn't used to have to do this. You could just read your email. Now you have to look at where that email came from.
Yeah, you get an email from Stripe or from whoever it's say, or from Visa or Amazon, and it's like, just click here for your return, and you go in, and then you go down the rabbit hole because wherever you're clicking to, they're confirming information that they make you feel like they have your information
Absolutely.
already, and in reality they don't. They're fishing for your information. Yeah,
Right.
I know that's far off the track of CSA, but it's
Oh
interesting
no,
though.
it's part of it.
I was
It's
going to
absolutely
say it's
part of it.
interesting. It's got to
Mhm.
be a part of what you deal with on a daily basis. It's almost like you become the counselor rather than the advisor for many of your clients in helping them get through some of these moments. Is that reality for you?
That is, and in this particular case, her kids were concerned, and they were like, "Oh, you got to turn over your accounts to me, and I'll take care of them for you, Mom." And they were well-meaning, absolutely well-meaning. But the truth is, she's a very smart lady, and she felt really dumb. She felt horrible, and she did feel silly, but she's not ready to give up that last bastion. It's kind of like that and driving, right?
Driving, I was going to say the driving, it's the same thing. It's like the last thing I want to do is take, her insurance is astronomical. It's like $250 every month for a car insurance for her, but she wants to drive. So she's earned her entire life, and she was married. She has investments. Her husband has since passed. Unfortunately, my stepdad passed away a handful of years ago. But these are things that I don't, until God forbid she gets into a serious circumstance that would preclude her from driving again. Why would I want to ever take away that independence that she has from that? If she goes at 90 because of a car accident, at least she will have go doing something she wants to do. I don't mean to laugh about that, but it's like, who am I to take away the joy that my mom has from driving?
Right, right. Yeah. And I think there's that time when they start having little accidents on the regular. Then you have to think about, hey mom, hey dad, what if there was a kid behind you when you put it in
Yeah,
reverse and you
yeah,
thought you were in drive, or whatever it was, that kind of, are you a danger to other people? But that's the driving thing is one of the things that we had to help families through, just as much as the physical things and the financial things.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
if you're,
it's so certified senior advisor. That's what that means. They have some expertise in all the emotional side, the family side, the financial side, and the physical side. They have an understanding of that.
if you're someone in our audience that has a parent that's as that of that age, know that patience is probably your greatest virtue at this point. You want to make sure that you are in control of your emotions when it comes to, yes, it's your mom and no, or your dad, and no, you don't want to see them decline at the same time. And the reality of life is that they're going to get a little weaker as they get older. They're not going to be quite as sharp as they were when they were, telling you what to do when you were in Little League baseball or anymore, or you were taking ballet or whatever, thing that you were involved in. They're just not going to be that person. It's a different stage in their life. And you need to put yourself in a position to understand, be a little sympathetic, be a little patient, and reach out to someone like John who has the designation and can help. What's the best way for someone to, if they're out there in the world and they're looking for help for their parents or for themselves, at what point do you start to look for this? And do you just ask, hey, do you have a CSA designation?
Yeah, you can ask that, and certainly you can, if they don't have that, certainly reach out to me. And you've got my contact information and all of that. GuardianRockWealth.com. Text life to 321-421-5213. But we've done one podcast. It was almost exactly a year ago with Sabrina Rodriguez, who runs assisted living locators that can help you when it's time, find a place for mom, place for dad, that they can be safe and really enjoy themselves as well at the same time, which is super important. But there's a lot of different resources out there that you may not be familiar with. I'm happy to talk to you, or anyone with the CSA designation should be able to help you as well. There are people that have practices set up just for that. And if you look for that, that's somebody
Hey,
great.
and the market, it's a huge market because the population is definitely getting older. We're living longer,
Right.
and it is important to find someone that fits the exact category of what you need, whether it's for yourself or for your parent or for a loved one that is a little bit older and getting to the point where they need to start making some decisions. John, we're out of time for today's episode, but thanks for sharing very much. Appreciate all your wisdom and your experience, and thanks for being here on your show. Thanks for being here. Next episode, you're going to do the intro. Are you ready for this?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna hold them to it. If you want to get in touch with John or those on his team, just text the word life to 321-421-5213. Just follow the prompts from there. If you need more information, just check the link in the show notes, or wherever you want to get your information from John, on his website, on our show notes, by texting life again to 321-421-5213. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. And John, thanks. Have a great week.
All right, we'll see you next time.